So everyone, again, as I mentioned, my name is Jeremy Holston. My pronouns are he, him, his, and I am the director here at the LGBT Chamber of Commerce of Illinois. Again, super excited to have all of you here with us, whether you are from another organization coming to learn how we can support your local efforts, or you're a new business owner coming to learn what resources we have to support you in your growth and development. To give you some background, our mission at the LGBT Chamber is to promote economic opportunities for the LGBTQ community by being an advocate and resource for all member businesses that encourage equality. So our members do include LGBTQ and ally-owned businesses representing many diversities within our community. Our members include Fortune 500 businesses, small businesses, as well as a number of nonprofit and government partners as well. In terms of resources, like many organizations here today, we offer networking events, including our monthly Mix and Mingle. This is an event that typically happens every second Tuesday. This is our signature event each month to come together with members, to build relationships, and to find out what's happening within our community. Right now, of course, like many folks, these things are happening virtually, but typically we do have really great in-person events. Right now, most of those are happening in Chicago, but hopefully through some of the partnerships that we are able to build in the future, we'll be able to expand those in-person events beyond the Chicago area. We also have a number of other networking events as well. Right now, we have 4 different affinity groups, including FLEX, which stands for our Future Leaders and Entrepreneurs Exchange. This group is for those professionals under 40 and those young at heart who like to come together for some targeted networking and professional development to advance and grow those careers. We also have a Black, Latinx, and Women Affinities Network group. Each of these groups also coming together quarterly for some targeted networking and professional development conversations. This year, our Black, Latinx, and Women group are discussing access to capital, mentorship, and advocacy, as well as having an annual celebration event to recognize dynamic business owners at the intersection of those communities. We also offer a variety of marketing opportunities available to our members, including a listing on our Chamber Directory profile. So for those LGBTQ businesses in your community who want to be in a directory and to be known and to be featured as an LGBT-owned business, our directory provides great opportunity and great marketing to gain that exposure. Through that directory, those folks can provide descriptions of their business. They can link folks to their website, social media, a direct point of contact from that website, and also have the ability to list any events of their own, any new jobs, or any unique deals that they are offering as well. We also have some special campaigns throughout the year, and I'll talk about one here in just a moment. We also have some professional development opportunities, each month hosting a program or a workshop to provide some skill or development enhancing for our community. This year, we've talked about project management essentials for small businesses. We've done a risk awareness conversation where we talked about HR and insurance compliance that folks should be listening to, as well as some other great conversations as well. We also have an LGBTQ Biz Bootcamp, which is a program for early stage LGBTQ businesses, which I'll talk about here in a moment. And then finally, Advocacy. Like many of the organizations here, we know how important it is to be an advocate for small businesses. And so our goal is to make sure that we're providing that advocacy from a frame point of supporting and championing LGBTQ businesses. One, generally making sure LGBTQ business owners are aware of what's happening in terms of legislation that can impact their business. Then also championing LGBTQ businesses to our elected officials. One way that we do that particularly is around the LGBT Business Enterprise Certification, which I'll talk about here in a moment. This year, I'm proud to say that we are celebrating our 25th anniversary. We were founded in 1996, initially as the Chicago Area Gay and Lesbian Chamber of Commerce, but now today serve as a statewide organization supporting the voices of nearly 50,000 LGBTQ business owners across the state. We're super thankful to our partners who are helping to celebrate with this year, including Blue Cross Blue Shield, Time Zone One, and Events with a K. Our members, like some of the other chambers here, really serve in a variety of unique and awesome different industries. I came to the chamber back in 2017, and I will say honestly, I had a very limited sort of scope, I think, of what I thought our business community was going to look like. So I came thinking I was going to come to a community that was full of so many awesome restaurants and so many awesome personal care services and supported related businesses. But really came here and was able to find out that our members were far removed from those services. Like many small businesses, our members were operating in mostly B2B industries, providing so many awesome professional services. Here you can see some of those businesses who make up our membership and some of their products and services. These include branded swag materials, candles, manufacturing, insurance, nonprofit consulting, HR consulting, D&I consulting, construction, and so many other unique services as well. So regardless of where your LGBTQ folks, where their businesses are operating or where you are operating, we definitely have folks who are looking to do business with them and wanting to build relationships with them. So definitely there is space for everyone to provide, to find their voice within our network. As I mentioned earlier, one of the tools that we provide in terms of advocacy is access to the LGBT Business Enterprise certification. This tool is managed, owned, and operated by the National LGBT Chamber of Commerce, which is located in Washington, D.C. So we partner with them only in the space of helping to provide the certification. To be eligible for the certification, a business must be 51% or more LGBTQ owned, managed, and controlled. So of course, there can be 3 owners that that have ownership of this business, but 51% of that total ownership must be dedicated to those who are from the LGBTQ community. The business must be headquartered in the United States, formed as a legal business, and then independent from any non-LGBT enterprises. So for example, if someone had a franchise or was a realtor, depending on how their business or contract is set up, they would maybe not be deemed as being independent from a non-LGBT enterprise. And so a lot of that will depend on your incorporation or some of the contract language. So what really is the value of having the certification? So first and foremost, having the certification adds a voice and adds power behind who we are as the LGBTQ business community. As many of you may know, LGBTQ individuals and especially business owners are not counted in a lot of census or other collection data opportunities. And so, for example, if myself or even Becca as a new, myself as a LGBTQ business owner was looking to start a new business, they would not ask for my LGBTQ identity. And so no one is actively asking about LGBTQ folks and their business ownership. And so the only way we're able to track that is through the certification. So even just by getting certified, you are helping us to add more numbers, more economic data, and more representation to who we are as a community. And then simply, if you want to promote your business as being LGBTQ owned, if that means something to the values and identity of your business, then certification is also important for that. And then a third part of that also is for those businesses that are looking to connect with corporate or government entities. Certification also serves as an additional marketing tool to stand out from your competition. So many companies and government entities have supplier diversity programs where they have goals and activities in place to work with businesses who come from diverse backgrounds, such as minority, women, veteran, or disabled, and also LGBTQ. And so in order to be recognized for those conversations, you have to have the certification to indicate that you are able to be invited to those opportunities. Now, again, we always remind people that having the certification does not mean that opportunities just start falling from the sky. You must be a competitive business with great service programs, great customer care, and everything that a solid competitive business will have. And then the certification serves as an additional tool to help you market and to stand out from the competition. One great thing also for folks to keep in mind is that if you are a member of a LGBTQ affiliate, and so we are the only organization that has that power in Illinois, if you are an affiliate, if you are a member of our organization, you do not have to pay the cost to get certified. The certification fee itself is $400. And then recertification is $200. As a member, our membership cost starts at $195 with options varying from there. And so of course, we suggest that folks they become a local member so they get access to the local resources and then also don't have to pay the cost for certification. And again, certification is a national tool that you can use with any corporate company across the country. So another great thing to remember. And again, I can answer other questions as we get closer to the end. So when you think about who some of those corporate companies are who are looking to do business with LGBT businesses, these are just a fraction of those companies. These are our corporate partners currently here in Illinois, but there are more than 2/3 of Fortune 500 companies actively recognizing and working with LGBTQ-owned businesses in their supplier diversity programs. So throughout the year, some of our activities and events include opportunities for LGBT and other certified businesses to build relationships and to get connected to these businesses. And so we'll share more information about those events in the future. And so definitely we hope that you'll share that with those who can participate. We also right now have a couple of scholarships available. So I do want to share that. Available for Black Latinx LGBTQ business owners. So folks who are at the intersection of those communities. These scholarships will cover the cost of membership between now and the end of the year. So if you know anyone who would be a good fit, please let me know. Or if you have folks who are in the Ameren territory, we do also have some scholarships available for those folks to tap into membership as well. So please do let me know. As I mentioned earlier, one program that we will be launching soon is the third cohort of our LGBTQ Biz Bootcamp. Again, we launched this program in 2019, and we're super excited to be hosting the program again here in the fall. This program is an 8-week program specifically for LGBTQ-owned businesses. We encourage anyone to apply. But the program is targeted for those folks who are in the early stages of their business. So maybe they have a couple of customers or they've been working with the idea for a while, but they need to add some formal structure and strategy. And so they go through their program, putting together a business plan, as well as a business presentation deck that they can use when pitching to corporate clients. Throughout this program, they get to access guest speakers and mentors. And then at the end of the program, they have final drafts of that business plan and that presentation deck. Then all participants who fulfill requirements get to compete for $1,000 to invest into their business. So it's a real great opportunity. There's no cost for the program. Folks do have to apply. There is some information that you have to submit. Folks will be, if they are deemed eligible, we will invite them to an interview to learn more, and then we'll ultimately make decisions from there. We are hosting an open house on October 2nd. It's August 29th. It's at the end of August. Applications are due September 8th. The open house is at the end of the month. And so if you have anyone who would like to learn more, definitely please share more information with them about the open house. And we're super proud to have support from Molson Coors in providing this program. As I mentioned earlier, we do offer a number of unique marketing programs throughout the year. One that we were able to launch this year for the first time was our Shop Pride campaign. The goal of it was really to make sure that people were thinking about LGBTQ owned businesses throughout the year, and not just during the month of Pride, when corporations and consumers typically think to spend with LGBTQ owned businesses. And so for the month of July, we had a marketing campaign in place where we promoted this program. Each participating business that signed up also got a digital toolkit where they were able to promote their participation as well. So we promoted the program to more than 500,000 consumers across our platforms. So we're super proud of that campaign. We'll be talking more about the impact of that campaign on August 10th at our August Mix and Mingle from 5:30 until 7. So if you want to learn more about the reach of that program, do be sure to join us there, as we'll have more data on who we actually were able to target for that program. We also normally participate in the Chicago Pride Parade, as well as some other festivals, so maybe market days or some other campaigns. And in those events, we do provide members the opportunity to buy into those with us. And so we will have a tent, and then they can partner with us to have some time, a time slot there to engage with consumers at those events. But they get to get some marketing from our full marketing campaign that we do in partnership of those events. And so, of course, we'd also love to learn about opportunities happening in your communities. And so I will ask for sure that if there are things happening in your communities that our organization should know about for sponsorship or for inviting our members down, I definitely encourage you to share that information with us, because we would definitely love to know more about it. So now I'd love to, so before before we get there, I'd love to maybe answer questions first. And so any questions from anyone before I sort of go through some other opportunities and events that are coming up? So I'll start with the things that we got in the chat, and then we'll invite anyone to come offline. I got a question from Anne, who said, is there anything similar for nonprofits? And so, Anne, I'm thinking that you're referring to the certification. Is that correct? Are you asking if there's a certification for nonprofits?
Yes.
Okay. So to my knowledge, there is not a certification for nonprofits at this moment. So unfortunately not at the moment. But so nonprofits can still definitely be a partner in this space. For sure, if you are an LGBT organization that has a LGBTQ focused mission, we can definitely partner with you and provide some training on how you can be a better partner in identifying and targeting and supporting LGBTQ owned businesses to be better for your own spending opportunities within your organization. So definitely. There was a question from Sandy asking, is the bootcamp virtual? So the bootcamp will be hybrid. So our hope is for the bootcamp to be hybrid. At minimum, it will be virtual. So if there are folks here in Chicago, we are creating space for them to join us in person, but definitely folks who are not here will have the opportunity to join us online. We do hope that we will have a pitch competition at the end of the program, which will be virtual, but we will announce the final winner of the pitch competition at our 25th anniversary gala. Right now, that's tentatively scheduled for December 7th. We're hoping in person, so we'd love for all participants to hopefully join us in person when we announce the winner and to just help us celebrate our anniversary gala. So from Becca, we got a question asking, do we have any offerings for LLC self-employment tax support? Becca, we do have access to some partners who can provide you with some coaching around accessing some of those offerings. And so I will send a follow-up email to everyone today. So if there are unique questions, unique resources that you're looking for, definitely do not hesitate to reach out, and then I can help provide some more specific next steps from there. From Brandy, we got a question of how long do you have to finish the national certification? So they don't necessarily put a time frame on it. So so the application process has 4 steps. As I mentioned, you'll go to the NGLCC website, and from there, you will create your profile. And that's just fill in the blank for the most part. The second part is sort of uploading some information, and all of that is unique to the business. So depending on how your business is incorporated, that information will vary. In addition, you also have to submit information that attest to you being a person of the LGBTQ community. NGLCC has a list of qualifying documents already available for you to look at, so you can determine what works best for you to prove that information. So if you're a married person, of course, that's a little bit easier because you have likely some legal and formal documents with both of your names that indicate that you are a same-sex couple. For those folks who are single, there are other sort of qualifying documents also listed, and so I've seen both folks get certified, and so there's definitely enough information there to help you get through that process. Once all that information has been reviewed and there does not appear to be any questions about the ownership of the business or the LGBTQ ownership of the business, then you are pushed forward to a site visit. In the site visit is really just a conversation about the operations of the business, asking the owner about what happens day to day in advancing the business forward. And that part will happen locally with myself or another representative of this chamber. Once that process is complete, I send that information back to the National Chamber. They make a final review of the application and make a decision. And so ultimately that process really depends on the person going through it and how quickly they can upload and get the information into the portal. So as you know, again, some folks have that information quickly available. Some folks have to do some digging to create those things or to find those things. So it could be 30 to 60 days, could be longer depending on what you have access to. It looks like those were all the questions that we had in the chat, but I welcome any other questions. If anyone wants to drop those in the chat, or if anyone wants to come off mute to ask any questions, you can do that now still. Sandy, I see you have a question.
Yes, thank you. We were thinking in Southern Illinois, we're a nonprofit, and there's a lot of businesses that I think would like some kind of thing like the NGLCC. And so we were thinking of putting one together for businesses in our area. Do you happen to have an index that we might use as a resource as we build our index for what sort of benchmarks and factors we might look for?
So are you
And
saying,
like certifying a business as LGBTQ friendly or supportive, that type of a thing. So I guess like the NGLCC, but on a much smaller scale for businesses in Southern Illinois.
yeah, so we don't have a resource like that, but I am aware of there are a number of communities that are creating some tools similar to that. I know there's I think Peoria Proud might be looking into some tools similar. Naperville Proud, I'm not sure if you're working on anything similar, but I do know there are some places that are sort of working on some things, but definitely would love to, we could definitely talk about that in a separate conversation, or how we can help provide some insight on what that could look like as suggestion also.
Thank you.
Sure. Any other thoughts or questions? No? Okay. So I did want to just go over a couple of things. And so we do, so as I mentioned, we are a statewide organization headquartered here in Chicago. And as you can imagine, like everyone, like any of you that are nonprofits or a chamber, we are a small staff of people. And so we just cannot be everywhere at the same time. We also understand that we're in Chicago and we don't understand really the uniqueness of all the communities across the state. And so for us, the way that we see being a statewide partner is really working with the folks who are in the communities, who serve as the local voices where you live and reside, in supporting businesses and LGBTQ folks where you live. And so our hope in expanding our partnership and also in being able to help organizations across the state, we've created a chamber affinity program. Our hope is that organizations will find this as a resource to supplement some of the programs and resources that you already offer, or as a way to help you create programming without having to sort of just create things out of the air. We know many places are looking for ways to support LGBTQ businesses. And so our hope is that you can partner with us to create those opportunities so that those folks can get connected to the programs and resources that we have to offer. So we're working collectively as one full ecosystem versus having competitive opportunities. And so what that looks like, and I'll be able to provide some more information for folks who would like more details. Again, we provide that local affiliate, that local partner. Their members are those folks who sign up, get access to our resources and partnership programs. And so any person in your community who you connect us to for membership gets opportunity to access discounted in membership. And so with that, they get access to our directory, our networking events, the training that we provide. Again, that full suite of programs and services that I mentioned earlier, they get access to it, again, all supplementing the programs that you already have in place. Also with that, again, those folks, if they meet the qualifications, also, of course, are eligible for that LGBT Business Enterprise certification. And so again, by being able to partner with us, you're helping to make sure that those folks in your community also are able to tap into the program. As I mentioned, the National LGBT Chamber only provides one affiliate in a space the opportunity to sort of lead in certification. And so that is the voice that we have for Illinois. And so we do want to make sure that everyone across the state is able to tap into this. And so by partnering together, we can make that happen. We have, so right now, and even as we hopefully get back to some sense of normalcy of in-person things, we will continue to offer many of our trainings in a virtual format. And we will have specific networking events this year as well. Over this year, during the month of Pride, we hosted 2 LGBTQ Biz training workshops where we partnered with about 11 organizations from across Illinois to support our full community. So our hope is that we'll have many of you as affinity program partners so that next year's Pride Month, we can partner again on some targeted programming for LGBTQ business folks across Illinois. And then also in terms of having things in person, our hope is that you will be the leader of creating in-person events in your community. Through the affinity program agreement, of course, you could host many events that you want, but we have an opportunity to partner with you on at least one of those events per quarter. So we will promote those opportunities in our own network. We'll invite our members to come down. We'll partner with you to create those events in a format that we normally host them here and for our own community. But you get to lead, put those events together. All sort of revenue sort of earned is yours because you're the one doing the work and et cetera. So we'd love to have many of you working with us as Chamber Affinity partners as we move forward. So again, please be sure to reach out when this program is over if you have any questions about how to get signed up for this partnership. So I'd love to invite all of you to join us. As I mentioned, each month we have a mix and mingle. Every second Tuesday, 5:30 to 7. It's still happening virtually. Right now, with this year being our 25th anniversary, the mix and mingles are pretty much evolving around that theme. So this August event, we'll be looking back at some of the other campaigns that we've had, similar to the Shop Pride campaign, and really, again, talking about the reach that that campaign had. August 23rd is our annual Networking on the Lake Boat Cruise here in Chicago on Lake Michigan. This is one of our largest events of the year, where in 2019 we were able to host it. We had about 180 folks on board. While there's so many, a lot of social LGBTQ events, this one we really pride ourselves on it being a targeted networking opportunity for making new relationships with a fun mix of seeing great views on Lake Michigan, a great dinner, and access to a premium open bar. Again, this is happening on August 23rd. If you have folks in your communities who would be interested, I'd be also willing to provide you with a discount code so that folks in your community could get this event at the member rate for this event. So again, please let me know if you and your community would like to join us there. September 22nd through 23rd is our annual Illinois LGBTQ Business Summit. This will be part virtual, part in person. One day is full workshops and conversations and training. Another day will be a matchmaking day. So those folks who are certified will be providing opportunities for them to get connected with our corporate partners and those folks looking to do business with LGBT businesses. There's also a pitch competition that happens there. So a great way for an LGBTQ business to take some money home to invest into their business. So definitely we'll share some information and hope that you will invite your network to join us for that event. And then on December 7th is our 25th anniversary gala. And again, we'd love to have you there in person with us. And so be on the lookout for more details as we share that information. So before we wrap up today, again, based on those final things that we just shared, any final questions that we can answer or anything that anyone just wanted to voice out there for the good of us all, or just us as a chamber to know? Hey, Sandy.
Did you happen to mention how much it was to join the Chamber of Commerce?
Sure. So there are right now 4 different levels of membership for businesses. Membership starts at $195 and goes up from there. And so again, at that 195 level, folks get the main things that you'll want to have, which is including a directory listing on our website, access to not having to pay the fee for certification. And then you can also get member rates to chamber events. And so the options increase from there in terms of what a business is looking for in terms of marketing or networking access. And so I'll also be sure to share information in the follow-up email to this. As a chamber affinity program partner, if a member or someone from your community signs up through you, folks can get a 25% discount on either the silver level or the gold level membership. Gold level provides those folks with their admission to our monthly mix and mingle event. So of course they get those main things, and then of course they get the main sort of additional piece, which is access to networking to continue building those relationships. So, and again, I'll share more details with that as well. Yeah, go ahead, Cindy. Sandy, did you have another question?
Oh, sorry. I can't tell if other people have their hand raised, so I don't want to just jump in with all the questions.
Okay.
Is there, for the Chamber Affinity Program, does the chamber affiliate need to first be a member of the Chamber of Commerce, the LGBT Chamber of Commerce, to be that chamber affinity source?
And so you don't have to be a member. We do have the affinity agreement that must be signed. But of course, we'd love to have you as a member as well, really serving as a full partner and voice to the community. Of course, I think that also shows the folks, that you're working with and in the communities that you're working with, that you are also truly a partner dedicated to the work that we're doing in terms of championing and advancing LGBTQ businesses. And so in terms of the affinity agreement, we do have you sign that agreement. But you technically do not have to be a member in terms of cost. And so, but we do definitely encourage and welcome it. So I see a question from Becca. How big is your network if we're hosting an in-person event that you're able to promote? What does a network look like that would go out to? So again, our hope is that if you are planning an event in person in your community, our assumption is that you are aware that there's generally a community there. And so we do have a network, but again, as I've mentioned, we are here in Chicago for the most part. So you as the local voice, you as the folks knowing who's in your community, our assumption is one, the folks, you have your own list, and you have folks that you'll be inviting to join us. And so we do have our own distribution list as well, with about 3,000 folks on it. Then we're also able to do some targeted social media and some other campaigns as well to help with that as well. But again, the hope and the goal of the partnership is to supplement sort of what you're doing. And so, while, you might not know 30 businesses in the community, we do suspect that you will know some people who will be excited, ready, interested in coming to some of those first initial events, helping us get connected with other folks to champion the future of those events, and us really partnering together to make sure that we have great attendance together at those opportunities.